This subject addresses numerous delicate and intricate matters related to relationships, cultural interactions, and the notion of hypergamy. It explores the ways in which societal norms, historical influences, and individual goals converge to influence people's decisions in romantic partnerships. Hypergamy, the concept of marrying or engaging in relationships with those perceived to possess a higher social, economic, or cultural status, has intrigued and sparked discussion for many centuries. This notion is not confined to a specific culture or community, as it has been analyzed across different ethnic groups and societies worldwide. Nonetheless, when concentrating on Asian women, especially within Western cultures, this notion frequently entails additional layers of complexity. Their dating choices are sometimes contextualized within the wider framework of social advancement, and how these choices may signify the quest for upward mobility. The historical context of Western supremacy in global governance, finance, and media has influenced how individuals, including those from Asian backgrounds, view social hierarchies and romantic relationships. This intersection of ethnicity, socioeconomic status, and identity creates a dynamic that deserves more in-depth analysis to discern how personal relationships are molded by external factors, whether they be cultural or societal pressures. At the same time, it is crucial to acknowledge that such dialogues often include sweeping generalizations that disregard the varied experiences of individuals. While some may genuinely value specific characteristics, others dismiss these ideals in favor of more fundamental aspects such as love, connection, and shared principles. Therefore, while hypergamy might be noticeable in certain circles, it is vital to recognize that relationships are ultimately influenced by a wide array of elements, including emotional resonance, reciprocal respect, and personal agency. This discourse not only seeks to analyze dating trends, but also aims to comprehend the larger social structures that shape these trends. How do cultural and racial assumptions influence our perceptions of romantic partnerships? What complexities arise when trying to reconcile individual desires with cultural traditions or societal expectations? By probing into these dimensions, we can reveal more profound insights into human connections and the continuously shifting interplay of cultural identity, gender, and social hierarchy. In the subsequent conversation, I will offer further context and insights to elaborate on these topics, providing a more comprehensive perspective through which we can investigate the ways race, class, and culture impact the pursuit of relationships, status, and identity. Through this thorough analysis, we can start to transcend superficial conclusions and achieve a more nuanced comprehension of how these dynamics are perpetually changing. 1. Understanding hypergamy. Hypergamy indicates the pursuit of a partner who possesses a greater social, economic, or educational standing than oneself. In various cultural settings, it can represent a form of climbing the social ladder. It's essential to acknowledge that hypergamy is not limited to Asian women, but its perception can be culture-specific. In numerous cultures, women have historically been anticipated to marry in a manner that can enhance their social position, and this expectation is often regarded as an instinctive behavior aimed at ensuring stability for themselves and their children. In the realm of Asian women, especially within Western societies, hypergamy can be seen as an inclination toward partners who provide enhanced opportunities regarding socioeconomic advancement. Nonetheless, it's crucial to recognize that not all Asian women share identical perspectives on relationships or marriage, and their preferences are frequently influenced by individual values, experiences, and aspirations. 2. Racial dynamics and preferences. The notion that Asian women solely or mainly pursue Caucasian partners for status is an oversimplified view. Although this may be true in specific circles or for certain individuals, it is not a universal truth. Numerous motivations exist for individuals from diverse racial backgrounds to date or marry outside their ethnicity, including common interests, attraction, and personal bonds. It's important to mention that Asian women dating Caucasian men might also indicate broader societal patterns concerning power dynamics. In several nations, the historically dominant racial group has been white, and this has shaped cultural narratives and expectations related to beauty, success, and worth. Such cultural biases can influence dating preferences and might also inspire an individual's wish to assimilate into a society that highly values these prevailing standards. 3. Social status and eugenics. The concept that Asian women engage in positive eugenics by selecting Caucasian partners for perceived genetic benefits is concerning. Although society often links particular physical characteristics with higher status or success, the term eugenics carries significant ethical and historical issues. Traditionally, eugenics has been utilized to justify damaging practices, such as forced sterilization and racial segregation, and it's essential to discuss any topic surrounding genetics and reproduction with care, particularly when it relates to notions of racial superiority or inferiority. In modern society, the motivations behind why people marry or partner are considerably more intricate. Although social status, stability, and financial security are frequently taken into account, they are certainly not the only considerations. Individuals also look for emotional compatibility, shared values, and mutual respect in their relationships, irrespective of racial background. 4. The role of mixed-race children. The belief that mixed-race children might possess certain advantages in societal acceptance or attractiveness stems from the notion of racial fluidity and the idea that mixed-race individuals can navigate various cultural environments. While some might view mixed-race individuals as more universally appealing due to a combination of features, it is equally important to acknowledge that mixed-race individuals may encounter challenges regarding identity, belonging, and racial discrimination from both sides of their heritage. The assumption that mixed-race children are more likely to excel socially or economically is founded on the belief that lighter skin and Western features are more widely accepted or valued. This perception often arises from a globalized society in which Western beauty standards have been elevated as ideals, yet it's a multifaceted and often contentious perspective. The world is diverse, and one's success and happiness are not solely determined by racial identity or the appearance of one's children. 5. Cultural nuances. Cultural preferences and dating practices vary significantly across regions and even within communities. For instance, in numerous Asian cultures, family approval holds great importance, and social status can shape the choice of a partner. Nonetheless, these preferences are not homogeneous, and many Asian individuals today prioritize love, shared values, and emotional compatibility over traditional ideas of marriage and social advancement. It is also vital to reflect on how globalization has influenced views on race and relationships. As cultures intermingle, individuals may feel increasingly liberated to express their preferences beyond the bounds of tradition. This can result in a more expansive understanding of relationships where mutual respect and shared ambitions often take precedence over rigid societal norms. In conversations about relationships, race, and social mobility, it is essential to transcend stereotypes and generalizations. Each individual possesses distinct motivations and desires regarding partner selection, and these elements are shaped by a multitude of cultural, personal, and societal factors. Although hypergamy, social mobility, and cultural standards can influence the way individuals establish relationships, it is important to recognize that every relationship is ultimately the result of personal choices, and these choices should not be simplified to a single factor such as race or status. Rather than concentrating exclusively on the perceived motives of any specific group, it is more advantageous to engage in these conversations with empathy, comprehension, and an acknowledgement of the intricacy of human relationships. Human actions, particularly within the context of romantic partnerships, are multifaceted and profoundly affected by an interplay of personal experiences, social conditioning, and cultural backgrounds. Simplifying individuals' choices to a singular narrative, whether it pertains to race, gender, or socioeconomic standing, neglects the richness of their identities and the deeper emotional and psychological elements involved. In this scenario, empathy signifies recognizing that every person's choices are influenced by a distinct combination of situations, aspirations, and challenges. It necessitates a willingness to see beyond superficial judgments, facilitating a wider understanding of why people establish relationships, what motivates them to seek certain partners, and how these selections connect with their personal aspirations and values. Whether driven by the desire for social advancement, the quest for love, or the intention to foster a sense of community, individuals' choices are frequently more intricate than a single explanation can encompass. Grasping the intricacy of human relationships also necessitates acknowledging the effect of historical, cultural, and societal backdrops on personal decisions. For instance, how do societal standards regarding beauty, race, and success influence individuals' views of themselves and others? How do global power dynamics, such as Western supremacy in media, politics, and economics, affect how various racial and ethnic communities perceive relationships and status? The interplay of race, gender, and class is particularly vital in deciphering how relationships transform across different cultural and geographical contexts. We must recognize that these intersections are not merely theoretical ideas. They materialize in the lived experiences of individuals every day. Furthermore, accepting the complexity of relationships entails acknowledging that love and connection cannot be neatly defined within a formula or framework. Relationships are not transactional, nor can they consistently be entirely elucidated by terms like hypergamy or status seeking. The emotional richness and challenges of human connections frequently transcend societal norms, cultural stereotypes, and material factors. Individuals fall in love for reasons that cannot always be logically explained, whether it be shared enthusiasm, profound affection, mutual support, or even the simple yet significant joy of companionship. These are intangible aspects that often defy rational thought, and they warrant the space and respect they deserve in any discussion pertaining to relationships. Finally, it is essential to question any assumptions that may emerge from conversations about race, ethnicity, or socioeconomic standing in relationships. Rather than perceiving these elements as limitations, we should view them as one facet within a broader narrative of human connection. Discussions about relationships should provide a chance for growth, education, and understanding, rather than judgment or separation. We each possess our biases and preconceived ideas, but it is through dialogue, honest, open, and respectful, that we can start to dismantle these barriers and cultivate a deeper appreciation for the intricacy and beauty of human relationships. In conclusion, relationships are profoundly personal, and each one is distinct. The more we engage in these conversations with empathy, patience, and an acknowledgement of the different elements that influence people's decisions, the more effectively we can grasp the diverse and changing dynamics of love, partnership, and connection. By contemplating the subject mindfully and without criticism, we can enhance a more intricate, compassionate, and knowledgeable dialogue regarding relationships in our current world.